It was a great heavyweight fight, let's be honest.
It was great entertainment.
AJ made the biggest mistake.
He did it a few times, which surprised me, because AJ normally doesn't rush in. He's quite well disciplined.
I think we knew it could happen.
Taking like AJ's experience against Dubois' experience, I would have expected AJ to be more patient. I don't think Dubois was...
I don't think Dubois knew what happened when he won, you know. I think
he looked like he was still in a bit of shock.
If it had gone on a few more rounds, I think AJ would have caught up with him.
Welcome back to BoxCast. In this episode, we are going to be looking at the aftermath of the AJ and Dubois fight yesterday evening. So Simon, just before we start, in case you get a little bit emotional, I've come prepared.
You look him even, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I was concerned. What did you think? Bit of a shock to all the 90,000 plus crowd, wasn't it? I think there was at least 90,000 AJ fans. I don't think
it was a shock.
No.
I think we knew it could happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think a lot of the sort of people who know a little bit about boxing, who've done a bit, were like, it's whoever catches the guy first, which is what it turned out to be.
I think we both said we knew Dubois was going to come out steamering. He did. There's nothing.
They used the Andy Ruiz method.
Yeah, there was nothing.
What surprised me is that AJ didn't have a defense. That with Ben Davidson in the corner, you would have thought
AJ made the biggest mistake a boxer can make, and it's one of the first things you're taught is do not lean back with your chin in the air. And what I mean by that is that. And that's exactly what AJ did. If you're going to lean back, you step back to the side.
Well, you know when we said in the build-up that it wouldn't be the old AJ, I think that was, but the old AJ, because his hands were too low, his chin was in the air all the time, and he was trying to be slick, but like you said, you're moving back with your chin.
You can't be slick moving. You can't move.
You've got to keep your chin down.
You just cannot do that in a boxing ring. You do that in a boxing ring, and another fighter's going to be going, oh.
Well, I was thinking about it this morning and thinking, well, a bit after the fight and sort of this morning, I thought, if you look at the game plan to beat AJ, there's two people who've done it. Obviously, Usyk was with boxing, which is fine. That's super slick. That's quite hard to emulate unless you can box like Usyk, which most of the heavyweights can't. And then the second one was the Andy Ruiz moment, which is the hit him on the side of the head and sort of push him back with pressure. So it looks like Dubois' team have had gone with Plan B, the Ruiz method of applying pressure and hitting them on the side of the head. But you would have thought, what surprised me wasn't that they tried that, because there's a game plan of how to beat him. What surprised me is that AJ, like you said, didn't come with it. The game plan, especially with his trainer, I think
AJ's come in with a game plan. He's just not followed it through. That is such an amateur mistake to make, honestly. If you ask any professional boxer, the one thing you do not do is when you're on the road.
We can see that.
You do not do that.
You don't put your chin in the air. Full stop. And
I don't think he got caught with, that was a monster right hand in that first round.
Well, I think they underestimated the Dubois' reach. And I think they've worked on, it looks like, Dubois to get that extra reach, because obviously AJ's a little bit taller, a little bit better reach. They've worked. Like I said, I think their game plan went to perfection. And AJ's never really got going, because as soon as he got caught, his legs had gone, and he never really recovered.
They didn't. I mean, it was a massive shot, that first round. He did well to get up.
Have you seen some of the pictures, the meme ones?
Yeah.
It looks like a cartoon. I don't know if it's real or not, but
he did so well to get up from it. In the fourth round, he caught Dubois with an uppercut that hurt him.
He caught him with a few good punches, but Dubois seemed to recover better than AJ. Whether AJ hadn't got all this power, because obviously his legs weren't there, so he's punching with body weight.
And to be
the right hand he caught him with,
in the fifth.
Wow. Where you thought, wait a minute, this is going to turn round.
But then as soon as he stepped forward, I did this. I went, no,
Yeah,
because
he
I
rushed
knew
in.
what was coming.
He rushed
I
in.
knew what was coming. I just thought, take a step back. And I know he's not thinking straight. His brain's scrambled. He's I'd say he's semi-unconscious in that fight. But as soon as he stepped forward, before Dubois even threw the punch, I went, he's going to get knocked out here. And it reminded me of like Pacquiao Marquez, their last fight. Pacquiao there, Marquez went in, and Marquez didn't even throw a punch. He just hold your fist there, and your jaw just goes crack on it. And that leaning forward, because it wasn't a big shot that Dubois threw, but
No, but he caught him flush.
he caught him flush.
Perfect.
But AJ's coming in on it, so it's twice the power.
Yeah, he rushed it. He did it a few times, which surprised me because AJ normally doesn't rush in. He's quite well disciplined, but there's a few where he's over lunging with the right hand.
I think when you're
you think it's because he's scrambled, or whether
yeah,
that
I think
was
he's
just,
scrambled, mate. It's plain and simple. His legs weren't there.
No,
If you look at round
They
two,
were gone from
two,
round one.
3, and 4, his legs were not
I mean
there.
he did well, to be fair, and as Hearn said, to just keep going, and then I think the bell saved him probably at the end of round 4, wasn't it, where he got saved. But then he come out round 5 quite well, but then he rushed, and that's what got him caught.
What got me is he still had this left hand here,
His hands were too low all the way through. His chin was too high and his hands were too low.
and I was looking at him, I'm like, but even on the ring walk, I thought, you look really stiff.
Well, that's what I would have said. Normally his footwork, and that is better than most of like the normal heavyweights, if you like, other than the special ones. And his hands normally aren't. His defense has got better since he's been here, especially with Ben Davidson. He's normally got better.
Yeah.
He starts with that, like a bit of discipline, and whether he's just got caught and that's done him.
Yeah,
but he got caught on where he's lunged in a bit. He did it, and he nearly got caught just before that
It's just, you make a mistake in the heavyweight boxing at elite level.
against somebody who's this big puncher. Either of them, it's over.
You're going to pay for it, and that's what's happened. Dubois, you've got to give him credit. He did.
Well, he
what
executed his game plan perfectly.
Yeah,
and he didn't rush in, which was my surprise, was taking like AJ's experience against Dubois' experience. I would have expected AJ to be more patient. I don't think Dubois was...
I don't think Dubois knew what happened when he won, you. I think he
looked like he was still in a bit of shock.
I think he was a little bit still buzzed from the big right hand that Joshua had given. Because I'm looking at him going, you don't look right.
Well, I think his right hand that he caught AJ with was just a reflexive.
Yeah, it was just literally head down and just
boom.
put your hand in.
AJ overreached. He was halfway there already.
Yeah.
So his chin was out. He's halfway there already, off balance already, and boom. And he'd had enough damage by then. So I think it was a bit concerning when he stayed down.
His legs were not there. It was just a firefight, wasn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah. Which I always thought could have played into Dubois' hands. He would have thought AJ's game plan is to box, and in box, if he's boxed the fight, I think he's got it. It would play his way.
If it had gone on a few more rounds, I think AJ would have caught up with him, possibly. Because I don't think Dubois got the best engine.
Yeah.
I think Dubois was...
Well, I was thinking that they've rolled the dice and gone, let's get him out.
Yeah.
It is we're going to fight 6 rounds, let's get him out of here.
Dubois is going to be blowing a gasket round 6 or 7 here if he carries on like this. Yeah. AJ just needs to keep out of his way. And I think that was that game plan going into round 4 and 5. Just pick him off with the jab, go to the body, stay out the way. And then he catches him with a great right hand. Dubois falls back. And like I say, as soon as Dubois fell back, I went. I put my hand over my eyes because I knew what was coming. It was Andy Ruiz all over. Try and go and finish him. Well, like you say, in the last few fights, Joshua hasn't done that.
He hasn't rushed in, and his defense has been better.
It's just...
It was disappointing in this.
Maybe he froze under the spotlights.
Yeah. Because Dubois didn't, he started fast. I thought it would have been a bit more cagey first round, and he just went, and it looked like AJ couldn't deal with the pressure. And that's what I mean. It was more like the old one, whereas the newer one in the last few fights, he's been a lot more cautious. Cautious, but not as cautious as silly cautious. cautious in his defense is better. He's a bit more patient. Whereas he was just trying to overreach. I think just he was trying to get back, and that's what's done him. Because the first round, when he's recovered a little bit, he's just rushed.
He's got a fighter's mentality. People question, AJ's heart and stuff, and I know Simon Jordan goes harp on it. He's got PTSD. When he gets hit, he goes into a shell. No, he doesn't. He comes out swinging.
No, he tries too much. That's the
problem. He
comes
out swinging, and he tries to knock the guy out. Well, he said that
at the end he's ready for a rumble, but the problem is you've got to be a bit more patient, and I don't think he's cleared his head, and his legs weren't allowing him to do what he needed to do.
Think they'll do the rematch clause?
Well, Hearn seemed very keen on it.
I think it's the only way for Joshua. Joshua can't go anywhere else.
It's the only fight he's got left. He'd have to win that, and then he's can't. Or if he loses, then it's retirement, I think. There's no other fight really makes any sense.
No, he doesn't need the money.
No.
AJ. He really, really doesn't need the money.
No.
People say, he's finished. He's not, because there's still massive fights out there. You're going to tell me that the Tyson Fury-AJ fight still isn't massive?
Yeah.
It's huge.
Well, I was just going to say, the other fight left is Fury and Joshua. Because you still sell out Wembley and you still have it there.
Huge.
Yeah.
Like I say...
Even if Fury loses, I think it's still... probably better if Fury loses. That fight makes more sense.
Yeah. But I think he will do the rematch. Because he looked fine after the fight. Didn't even have a mark on him.
Mm. It's the AJ Ruiz plan. It was the Ruiz plan. They weren't hitting him in the face. No. He never really, he hit them on the chin or right. He caught him a few times. With the side of the head.
Yeah, I mean, the first punch was his jaw.
I know I've said a few times that I think his chin is weaker. But I don't think it's a chin issue. It's a side where he scrambles his brain and he loses his legs.
I said this in the build-up, didn't I? I think he's got quite a good chin.
Well, to be honest, I think Dubois got quite a good chin, better than I expected as well. Well, if you look at Dubois, actually, I was thinking about that as well. What's the game plan to beat him? Because obviously he's been beaten twice. The Usyk one, which fine, all right. You're not gonna execute that one, so there's no point going down that road. Other than taking in that you've got to outbox him, which I think AJ is capable of, or the Joe Joyce one, which I think more is like a misnomer because he was winning until he got his eye socket damaged in a war of attrition.
I think Dubois, if you can take him past the 6 rounds...
It's gas out.
I think he gasses out. I genuinely believe that. And I think you can pick him off quite easily then. Because he is susceptible to that right hand over the top. He really, really is. And
well, you can see it in the shot, when he caught him with the right hand. It's like his left hand's only down there.
I think
the same as AJ's. It's just he was faster to it.
Yeah.
He was quicker to the draw than AJ was. AJ caught him with him a couple of times as well. Although I think it was in the third, fourth where he was still buzzed. He didn't have his leg power, so he caught him with some good shots, but he didn't have the full power. If he did the full power, I think Dubois would go.
I think Dubois is one of them. Is if he catches you. Yeah, you're in trouble, but I don't think he's a hard fighter to beat. I know that sounds a bit
Well, my
weird.
prediction was based on how both of them did against Usyk. Usyk had a far harder fight against Joshua, even the first one. I forget the second one. Than he had against Dubois, because Dubois was like a sparring match. Other than the low blow, there was not really anything. Dubois never really touched him. So you look at that and you think, yeah, you just outbox him. There's the game plan of how to beat him. I mean, I think he has got better. I think he's got more confidence since through his last few fights, he's had better opponents and he's gone through good. But I mean, Hrgovic caught him with his right hand all the way through. I mean, look, basically at will.
He's a young guy, Dubois. And
he's getting better.
We seem to forget he's 26, 27. He's still a baby learning in the heavyweight division. So he is going to get better and better. Good on him. Would you throw him in with Joe Parker or Caballel?
Well, I was thinking him against Parker is because both of them are on the up, is a pretty even fight. I think him against Caballel beats him.
It's a weird one.
I think Caballel is a better boxer. I mean, yeah, if he catches Caballel, but if you look at Caballel's skill, like we've said a few about him, I think he's got more skill than Dubois has. He can outbox him, and that's the way to beat him.
Dubois is one of them. Is it like I think there's a lot of fighters out there that can beat him, but he can beat a lot of fighters as well.
Yeah, if he catches you. If he catches Usyk, I think that he's got him, him as well. It's just catching him.
Like, I think Zhang could take care of Dubois.
27 years, yeah. Well, that'd be the same. It's who catches who.
Yeah.
But Zhang can take a punch, so yeah, I think it'd be hard to get Zhang out of there if Zhang catches him, because he's susceptible to the punch. He's open.
Yeah.
AJ in his state caught him with a few good punches. He caught him with the uppercuts a few times. Just he didn't have the leverage because his legs weren't there. The right hand he was just about to get back was really good, and he rocked him a little bit. I think he's got a good chin. Because if you think he's only been stopped when his eye socket was done, and then Usyk's just Usyk. He was way better, different league. But
look, it was disappointing. It was over after that first round knockdown. As far as I was concerned, I think
it was over as a
AJ's
fight.
ever recovered. After that, it was a firefight. It was a great heavyweight fight. Let's be honest.
It was great entertainment.
Because you still had in your mind...
It was a fight more than a boxing match.
If AJ catches him, and he did, and you can see Dubois was about to go, and then but you go in, if AJ rushes in and Dubois catches... So it's... Would I want to see it again?
Well, AJ got caught mostly when he was trying to... he overreached about 3-4 times, and he got caught. Obviously, the first round he got caught properly, but then in the others he didn't catch it cleanly as well.
No, what happens is...
And he just rocked him every time.
You use your jab to find your range. And that's what your jab's used for.
What did surprise me is Dubois' jab was better than I thought it was, because he was catching him as well.
No, you see, Dubois has got a really good jab, and it's a solid, stiff jab.
Yeah, but I would have expected AJ to have he's got a really good one, and he's got that little bit of reach advantage. He would have been better at it. He did catch him, but Dubois got back quite a few as well. He caught him more times than I would have expected him to get caught.
No, you see, it's like I say, I thought for the first round, Dubois would do exactly what he said. What I thought he was going to do was come out like a steam train, and AJ was just going to be duck and weave and hold and getting out the way.
Because that's the thing. Jabs landed in the first round. He got 9 through out of 30 he tried, and Joshua 2 out of 21. And the second round, all that evens a bit more, 7 out of 25 and 4 out of 21. Third round, AJ's actually got more, because then he started to try and box a bit. Fourth round's pretty even. Even the fifth round is not that far. It's the power punches, isn't it? The first one's actually even. It's about 5-4. 5 for Dubois, 4 for Joshua. But obviously the knockdown was the bigger thing, and then he's lost his momentum off that. The second round was 13 to Dubois, 1 to Joshua, and 13 in the third round, 2 to Joshua. Fourth round is 15 to Dubois and 2 to Joshua.
Yeah, I mean, and
then the fifth one, Joshua had 5 where he's winning, and Dubois just had 3. Unfortunately, one of them was the one that took out.
I've been online this morning, and the people that are hating on Joshua, get a life. Carl Froch, especially, you absolute plum.
I haven't seen it. I don't watch it.
Do yourself a favour, mate. Have a bit of respect for fellow fighters, especially British fellow fighters. No one slated you when you got battered by Andre Ward or Mikhail Kessler. So zip your hoop, you donut.
Don't hold back.
But what people seem to forget is, yeah, boxing's massive because of the Saudis at the minute, but AJ put heavyweight boxing back on the map.
He was big before the Saudis came.
Yeah, and none of it would have been possible if it wasn't for AJ. Yeah. Do you think Dubois would have filled out 96,000 on his own?
Well, most people were booing him.
Exactly.
At the beginning,
it was the AJ show.
And even at the end, it wasn't like as rapturous as
give him some
AJ
respect. He's tried and failed, and you can't slate someone for trying.
Well, at any level of boxing, if you get caught, that's what it is. He just got caught, and then he couldn't. Yeah. That's it. It was basically his legs had gone. He tried. The thing is, this I actually I thought he did better because he kept going till the fifth round.
Yeah, he was never ever going to quit.
Because I watched with the kids, and the kids were like, obviously they know who AJ is. They don't really know who Dubois, so they spawn AJ, and they're like, "What's going on here?" I'm like, I think Dubois got him here. It's going to be over fairly quickly. And then he carried on going, and then they were like, when the fifth round, they were like excited.
The problem with Dubois is he's just not good in front of the camera, is he?
He's not the, shall we say, he's not the marketing piece that Anthony Joshua is.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, he goes in the ring and he lets his boxing do the talking. But I don't think he, you know, everyone knows Tyson Fury, not just because of his boxing, but because of his gob.
Yeah.
AJ, I'd say it's because he's an ambassador for the sport. Dubois hasn't really got either of those
well, the
things.
thing is, even Usyk's raised it because he's got the personality.
Yeah.
Like you see their fight between, obviously with, when he did it with Bellew, because Bellew's not exactly bad in front of the camera either. So they've marketed it well, but his little things, like they're going above the board and the things.
Yeah.
And then even in these, he's built up his name. So he's a good interview. He's got a thing. In Dubois' one was just like, yeah.
Even the after interview, it's like...
AJ's was better and he was like still as Campbell.
Just like... I don't know. I mean, like you say, he doesn't need to do the talking.
Let's give him a bit of love. That was an impressive performance. He's only lost by having his eye socket broken.
I'm not going to take
Usyk.
anything away from him.
I don't take any credit off if anybody gets beat by Usyk because I think he's a different level of boxer.
I won't take anything away from him.
And Joe Joyce, I think he was winning the fight till that point, and that's just one of those things. And since then, like, he's done really well.
Yeah.
Hrgovic, if you look at, you know, Jarrell Miller, all right, Miller wasn't quite as good as he is, but still. And Miller, to be fair, gave him respect. He came in the
And do you know what?
ring.
I was made up when Dubois beat Miller.
Well, Miller was there yesterday, gave him respect at the end, isn't it? So I think Hrgovic was a really good performance because that amount of times he got hit and he still went on and did it. And this is a really good performance. He executed the game plan perfectly. They looked at the blueprint for beating AJ and they pulled it off. And AJ, unfortunately, was cold and got caught with it. I don't think it's a shame on either because I think he showed the heart. If people are questioning his heart, he got it onto the fifth round. Most people wouldn't have got up from that first round. Get to the second or third. The times he got hit down. And it was more like, yeah, his legs had gone, but it was more on his face, disappointment from getting caught.
Yeah.
But he still had the heart to go on.
He knew what he'd done wrong.
Yeah.
He really did know what he'd done wrong. But that's heavyweight boxing.
That's what makes it the big draw.
I've got my old phone because I threw my other one across the living room floor and it smashed.
Oh, well. Like I said, don't worry. I looked after you. I've got him there for you.
But because I think my friend texted me last night before the fight and he's like, what do you think? And I went, it's 50-50, mate. I know I've picked AJ, I said, but don't be surprised if AJ gets knocked out early.
Yeah. Well, I think you said it's whoever catches whoever first. Both of them got the power to rock you.
I thought, to be fair, Dubois was going to go in and he's going to be like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen. But he wasn't. He took everything.
Oh, he started with his pedal to the metal. He was start perfectly. And they applied the pressure. He was in the centre of the ring from the beginning. And to be honest, I was a bit surprised how fast he started. Because my mind was like yours. No. My concern was this. He's going to gas out. Like, we know we can go after 6 rounds. But I think they rolled a dice on that. I think they thought, we're only fighting a 6-round fight here. We're going to go for it.
And that's what they did. And it worked.
Which is kudos to him, kudos to his camp. I think they
and he did well.
They planned and executed perfectly, and he didn't sink under the 90,000
to stay on his feet because that right hand that he just
because that's the first time he's fought in front of a big audience like that, isn't it? I don't think he's fought at that. Like, he's fought at Tottenham Stadium.
He fought 50,000, didn't he, in Poland against Usyk?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. And he's done Tottenham Stadium before as well.
Yeah, the Joe Joyce fight was behind closed doors.
Yeah,
because it was during COVID. But I still don't think, if...
The only good thing he said was the bit I did like when he showed a little bit of personality is, are you not entertained? Bit of a copy line, but it was quite good.
Yeah, I think he writes them down beforehand.
He's been watching Gladiator before it came out.
Definitely. But, say...
No, kudos to him. I think
say Joshua wins that fight and he's fighting Parker next. Do you think it feels like Wembley?
Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua versus Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. Dubois Parker, does that fill out Wembley?
No, I wouldn't.
Can you
book
see
it
what?
there. Yeah, that's what I know. You can see that when Eddie Hearn's face, even His Excellency's face, and everybody else thinking, "Oh, pants ruined again."
Yeah.
Because obviously they need to fill out this thing.
But that's the good thing with these Saudi things is the 50-50 fights.
Well, all of them on this event were pretty close, and obviously you had 2 upsets.
But a loss doesn't mean it's the end.
Yeah.
Look at Deontay Wilder. You know, he's still got chances. You're still gonna get your chances, and AJ, I think he'll be absolutely kicking himself this morning. Dubois will be high as a kite. I think get back out in February, do the rematch.
Well, all right, let's do...
It'll be in Saudi.
What matches for AJ? Rematch or Tyson Fury, isn't it? That's basically
rematch.
the 2 games.
AJ will do the rematch. He will not be happy with that.
And for Dubois, obviously the rematch, because that'll probably be on AJ to call.
Dubois is in a little bit of a
else?
sticky situation.
Because he'll want to keep busy.
Yeah, but he's in this... What does it mean by
But he doesn't also want to lose health.
Yeah, he is in a sticky situation because he might want to unify, but Usyk Fury's... That's December, so they're going to be 4 or 5 months after that.
Well, they aren't going to push to cancel it because obviously both of them are with Frank Warren. So they're going to want to get the Fury fight on because that's a bigger fight.
Yeah, but the thing is they'll fight and they're not going to be wanting to fight after that until May, June, July.
Yeah, so he has to have another fight, at least one, if not 2 in between.
Who does he fight in between? IBF mandatory challenger? Who's that? Parker?
That's what I was going to say, isn't it? Who is? Let's check. Let me have a look while you just go. Carry on while I'm finding out. Champions and rankings.
So I think the rematch is the best thing for him. Look, if there's a rematch clause and AJ...
Yeah, we weren't aware of that before, but if it is, then you would expect that to be...
There's nothing that Dubois can do. He's got to honour the rematch clause.
Caballel is number 4. Well, it's number 1 and number 2. Oh, well, now he's the full champion, is Daniel Dubois. Then number 1 and number 2 are vacant. And then number 3 was Joshua, which is why he's got the fight. And number 4 is Agit Caballel.
Yeah, so...
Number 5 is Mr. Bacoli. Again. And then number 6 is Zhili Zhang. All of them are tough fights.
Martin Bacoli loved that fight, I think.
Yeah. Well, like you said, the big Zhang, I think Bacoli, it makes even more sense because Bacoli will catch him and he's got the power to rock.
Well, I think from what I get the impression of is they are doing an event in China.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be Zhang versus Bacoli. Now, that would make them, I think, mandatory.
Yeah, next.
For... the IBF.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll push them up, the winner of that to number 1, the mandatory.
So then that would...
challenger.
So say Joshua... Let's just plan this out.
Reggie Parker isn't in this list.
Say Joshua invokes his rematch clause and fights Dubois. That's going to be February.
Mm-hmm.
Then the winner of that, I'd say most probably fight the winner of Zhang Bacoli, unless it's Joshua and Tyson Fury's won, and then they do a unified for the Tyson. Like say, I reckon if you went to Turkey Al Sheikh's, I reckon he's got a notebook with all his little plans in and contingency plans, and it's all mapped out for the next 2 to 3 years, to be honest. I think if Usyk beats Fury again, Usyk retires.
Yeah,
to be honest, he's not going to want He's been unified. He gave up the IBF belt. I don't think he's really interested in becoming unified champion again.
No,
he's done it. It's done. I think he'll retire. That's it. If Fury wins, I think Usyk retires either way. Actually,
yeah, I think
win or lose,
there's nothing to prove. I mean, the only other thing would be a rematch against Fury again, but like that doesn't really make sense.
Maybe a trilogy. I tell you what, Usyk's just so cool as well, though, isn't he? But you have got, like I say, you've got Dubois, Parker, Caballel, Bacoli, Zhang.
There's a lot of good fighters here.
AJ. You've got some up-and-coming British guys.
Itoma,
Moses Itoma, Johnny Fisher. You've got to throw the likes of Derek Chisora.
He's still in the rankings in most of those.
Yeah, Dylan White, I think, wants a comeback. You've got to throw them guys in there as well.
Well, Dylan White's dropped out because he's been less active. But you've got, like,
I think,
Caballel, Bacoli, Zhang, Ajagba, there's Itoma, and yeah, there's a fair few. Parker.
Do you know what I think? I think if AJ doesn't do the rematch clause, I think you should have another Wembley Stadium fight. Daniel Dubois versus Derek Chisora.
Yeah.
What a fight that would be.
Chisora's still in the rankings.
What a fight.
Yeah.
And you know what? Imagine Del Boy won it.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. I think there'd be more cheering in Wembley if Del Boy won.
Yeah, did you see it when
World champion? Would it be fantastic?
When he showed Del Boy on the big screen? It was just like everyone screaming, "War Chisora," and then what's hilarious is Chris Eubank Jr. come out and everyone, "Ooh!"
Yeah. Well, I think back to your point where you said, would it fill out? I think if you did Dubois and Chisora, you'd sell out.
Yeah, I think you would.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can make... I mean, these are just what we think. I mean, I think it's already planned out what the next few fights are going to be.
Yeah. Well, there's enough of them there now because the heavyweights have become hot again. From where there was stale division, I think with the help of the Saudis, and we got to give credit to them, they made it hot again.
I think the Saudis need another one of them heavyweight nights that they did.
Yeah. There's enough of them there to make it.
Because I think the likes of...
Wardley's in there as well.
Yeah, Joshua Parker, Joseph Parker and Caballel and them. They might be coming a bit stale. What's next for them? Why haven't they got fights lined up? Are they just waiting for the Saudis? Is it that? Is it?
Well, if you're a Joseph Parker, would you fancy a fight against Dubois?
Yeah.
I think you would.
Damn right, you would.
If
you're
a Caballel, you would. I think if you're a Bacoli, you would. I think if you're a Zhang, you would.
This is my thing. Is it like a little signed contract with the Saudis? Is basically you've just got to sit next to the phone and wait for us to contact you? Because if that's the case, I don't think that is fair. I think they should be out there just fighting each other.
Well, no, I think that, to be fair to them, they have made a lot of good matchups in it because we had, like, obviously Caballel versus...
Yeah, but when was the last time they fought?
The last Riyadh season. Well, it's coming up again now. So
I hope they're on there.
Well, I suspect they will.
But I hope it's not Caballel, Joseph Parker. I think you should keep them two separate.
Yeah. Well, no, a good opponent for Dubois, I think. But is Parker in their camp as well? Is he in? He's a Frank Warren guy.
I don't know who Parker's... No,
he always seems to support that side of it, doesn't he?
Isn't he with that...
Although he wasn't there yesterday, I was surprised.
That mad...
I didn't see him.
The
other one?
Mad Australian fella, is it Higgins or something?
Oh, it might be.
It's like he always looks wired off his head.
Yeah. We'll speculate on that later. But he always sort of follows that camp, isn't it? So they have a good relationship on that side. I think, if they do Zhang versus Bacoli, that's epic. I think they'll become like the mandatory. Probably IBF will install there somewhere to that. Joshua's obviously out of that unless he executes his rematch.
I think he will. Do you think he will?
I think he will.
I think he's got to.
Yeah. Well, he's either got to retire or if he's going to have a fight, if he wants to continue, he's got to execute the rematch.
He can't.
There's nobody else worth fighting.
No, it's not just that.
Other than Tyson Fury.
He can't do another rebuild. Unfortunately, he's too old now. I know that sounds a bit mad, but no one's going to want to see him fighting a Jermaine Franklin or a Otto Warren. Get back in the mix. Go and fight Dubois again. If you win, great. If you don't, you've passed the torch on. Unfortunately, we get old. And the younger ones...
Even Tyson Fury said that, unfortunately, age catches up with
everybody.
Yeah,
and the younger ones take over. At least we've got young up and comers coming through, and you know Dubois one of them.
I think for Dubois, there's a load of fights. If Joshua doesn't, then there's a load of them that they can fight. Parker is obvious one. Caballel, Bakoli, Zhang. There's probably like Sanchez, Frank Sanchez as well, and other people in that list. Chisora would sell out. Likes of Jared Anderson as well, if he's continuing. I don't know if he's there, but he's still in the list. They're looking at that. He could probably emulate. Like,
I reckon Miller would want a rematch.
I think Miller back in shape now looks.
He'd want a rematch against Dubois.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a tougher fight. Andy Ruiz. Yeah.
He's a weird one, him. He's a weird one, Ruiz, for me.
He's got the skill, but like, why doesn't he drop a little bit of weight and get? Because you always show him training, and he looks like he's a really fit.
Yeah, and what happens then? Does he only eat like 45 Mars bars or something?
After the weigh-in.
I don't know. But it's,
That's my fault, I send him it.
The heavyweight landscape still great. Yes, Joshua lost. I was going to wear sunglasses and have me hood up and everything this morning.
There's Manuel Char as well, isn't he? He's the
WBA, don't even speak to me about Manuel Char. I don't think he's fought for like 15 years, has he? But he's still a WBA champion.
He's the world heavyweight champion.
Don't make me throw another phone. But no, it was a great event, and yes, I'm disappointed, but I think the winners is British boxing, isn't it?
It was a fantastic event.
So,
I mean, I was a bit concerned about filling up, but it did. I mean, I think in Shiraz's fight, the second, like the co-main event thing, it was reasonable, but there was still a fair few empty seats. But by the time the main event came, it was packed out.
I mean,
and then a noise level suddenly went up because it was a bit quiet for the ones before.
I'm a boxing fan, so if I get a ticket for Wembley, and especially when they're like, how much?
Well, we looked at it because we were thinking about doing it, but like the cost, I would want to see every fight.
Yeah.
And all of them were worth seeing.
And some people, you're turning up there, you in that stage, okay, so you turn up for the main event, you get there 10 minutes before it started, which seemed to be like, what happened? You're in there for half an hour.
Even Shiraz's performance, well, we're going to speak about them anyway.
A lot of
really good performances.
A lot of money for
watching.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. That's why I was like surprised.
Maybe
I thought a little bit would be
maybe
like
everyone was out watching the football. I don't know, but I'd have been there. I'd have been there from as soon as them doors opened.
Yeah.
Which,
well, for the cost of it, you'd want to get your money's worth. You'd want to watch all the fights.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's the sideline. So, yeah. It's a disappointment, but I think well done to Daniel Dubois. Really good performance. You executed the game plan perfectly. And I think disappointing from Anthony Joshua's side. But yeah, I think the obvious next step for him is rematch. I think Dubois, if the rematch doesn't get called, I don't think it's an obvious next step for Dubois. He's got it, but I think either way if he gets a rematch, it's a big fight. And then if not, then there's a lot of the other up-and-comers. Parker, Caballel, Bakoli, Zhang, obvious ones, and then there's a lot of others. There's a lot of good fights out there, I think, to be made.
Right, can I go home and go back to bed now and sulk?
Well, we've got to do the undercard as well, and then we'll do. Okay, thank you very much for watching, listening. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Offer your condolences to Simon. Please cheer him up a bit. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you.